I guess, a landlord's priority. What we've seen, we interact with landlords every single day, I suppose, is a shift in the way in which they evaluate the success or the performance of their buildings or of their assets. I think traditionally it's always been, what is the weighted average lease term or average time remaining on my portfolio? Because that's what my lender or my valuer determines as the most critical factor for understanding whether I've got a strong portfolio or not. But with all this enhanced flexibility and this move to flexibility for occupiers, we've seen average lease lengths drop dramatically in the last year from a data nerd point of view. So a landlord's priorities in terms of how they understand their own portfolio, and this is, to be honest, probably where someone or a company like Metricus really stands up for success, is measuring that engagement of a property or an asset, measuring the ability to cater to the tenant's fluctuating demands. So even if you might want to, as an occupier, shift your demand, can that landlord always cater to that? And will it be built on the back of relationships as opposed to just purely, the brick and mortar of it as well? So that's sort of a shift that we've seen in terms of a landlord's priority and the way in which they're evaluating their portfolios, just that shift away from traditional metrics, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think from what we've seen and the landlords we have as customers and the ones we're talking to, sustainability, ESG, and environmental, sustainability goals, they've come more to the forefront than ever before, I think, as well. With the landlords we're talking to, from the aerated side of our business, a lot more people are now talking to us about aerated, but wanting to be able to prove that they've got a good building. We've also seen that as well, and I think, Tracy, given what you do, you must be seeing some changes coming as well from a landlord side.
Yeah, I think the whole thinking about how do they bundle a building more to serve multi-purposes. One of the biggest growing vertical markets for the world, it was life sciences. I mean, we were really depending on life science to save us, and they did. I mean, with the rapid deployment of the vaccines and that type of thing. And we've done a lot of vertical shows like this with the life science industry, and a lot of they're part of roundtables that we've hosted since March of 2020. Their business never stopped. So, and you're seeing a lot of incubator spaces around life science. Well, they can't move into every building, and they don't need 200,000 square feet. They maybe need 40,000 square feet or 50,000 square feet until they get off the ground. So how are they bundling deals within a building to make it a multi-purpose building? I think is really kind of an interesting twist that we're seeing some landlords and building owners kind of think about as they bundle deals to go to reposition a building as a multi-purpose building, multi-tenant building with a wider diversity of vertical markets available to it.
Yeah, it's I think like you, Kate, all the sweeping statements about there's one about New York, New York's dead, no one will come back to New York, bollocks.
I'm going there on Wednesday, so I'll tell you. I'll let you know.
No, if there's you and one other person, then we know it was true.
Right. Well, Michael, can I pick up on that for 1 second? Because Caleb, you actually stimulated in my brain. It was like through the whole death of the office, the companies that were best positioned to support remote work from now until eternity were the biggest consumers of real estate. They were the ones gobbling up all the real estate. So wait a minute, okay, if that company, if these companies, and we know the ones, right, that can support virtual work, all the tech companies, they were out just gobbling up big land deals in developing an office. So if they're thinking, wait a minute, my workers can actually work from home, yet I'm out there consuming real estate. They understand the importance of bringing people together. They understand the importance of the community that you have to foster within an office to grow and innovate. And I think that's where companies are really struggling at the moment, the innovation factor. Well, this is great. These are great forums. I think we spend all day in front of our laptops and that type of thing. Yeah. It's like, give me a good, wall of whiteboards so we can really kind of scribe this stuff out and really come up with the next great, platform for development. Because the data is going to be at the center of it, Caleb, but it's that narrative that gets generated from that data I think is going to be so important.